Hey guys, here we go. What a Saturday morning we have today. All right, so odds are college game day is going on right now. Getting ready to go to the picks here in about 15-20 minutes. So by the time you guys see this, I guarantee you the games will already have started. But we've got a very fun day coming up. Here we go. Let's get this up. Here we go. It is game day in college football. Let's go ahead and run down. Let's do a recap of Thursday night, which saw two games that um, really were hard fought, middle of the season, getting down to the nitty gritty, really needing to show up. We had Washington State, the Cougars in Pullman, Washington, defending their turf against Utah, coming in. Cameron Rising, for whatever reason, was not on the field much at all. Injury, something that happened last week against USC. Really a weird set of circumstances. Looked like he was struggling a little bit, but not necessarily enough to keep him out of a game. But I mean, you do have to remember. I mean, they are kids, so a little bit different. But Virginia Tech and NC State. So Utah ends up winning 21-17. Hard defensive battle. Screwed up calls on both sides. The game ended up being relatively even because there were screw ups all around for both teams. Now, NC State, Virginia Tech. Holy crap. 22-21 NC State. This was a huge game for NC State to be able to pull off to stop the slide they have been going down. NC State's lost to Syracuse. They lost to Clemson. They needed this win at home on Thursday night to get the train going back the right direction up the hill. They needed to stop going backwards. And they did, but Virginia Tech, listen, I love the Hokies. I grew up watching the Hokies on almost every Thursday night, especially in the late 90s, early thousands. Virginia Tech was the one, they were either playing Thursday night, Saturday at noon, or Saturday at 7:45. Like, those were the only three time slots. I don't remember them playing many 3:30 games ever, unless it was a road tilt early in the season. Like, they have always been the Thursday night football team, which means college football's better when they're good, because it is a very recognizable brand. It's Virginia Tech. They're just everything that team was. Everything that team was epitomized what you want in a football team. They've lost a lot of that, and it's not good. Virginia Tech being relevant is good for NCAA. I really hope they can bounce back. They need to bounce back. The ACC needs them to get back to where they're going to win 10, 11 games. They've had some good quarterbacks run through. Just for whatever reason, it's not working right now. But nonetheless, NC State and Utah, two ranked teams, both get big wins on Thursday night. All right, let's get to today. Ohio State, Penn State. Listen, Penn State couldn't hold a candle to Michigan, but that was on the road. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for Ohio State, but I don't see Ohio State struggling at all. I really don't. I think the game's going to be closer than people are kind of expecting, especially early. I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout. Excuse me. Hate it when that happens. But Ohio State's going to end up winning by 25 plus. Let's just be honest. So Ohio State wins that one. TCU, West Virginia. This game's interesting, though. And TCU's been on a big high for a couple weeks. Going to Morgantown, West Virginia. I got the Mountaineers playing them tough. I think the spread is a little bit too big. It's at 7 points. I think West Virginia plays TCU really tough. I think they play really hard. Look for this game to be close. Notre Dame at Syracuse. Syracuse needs to bounce back. Syracuse needs to bounce back from the game last week. They're playing Notre Dame, a respectable opponent. You lose to Clemson by 6, even though you should have won. And now you've got Notre Dame coming in, who's having a down year. You got to keep yourself composed. Jump off the win last week. I think it's going to be close early. I think they're going to have a little bit of hangover because they really wanted last week's win. I feel Syracuse is the best team in the ACC. As far as a complete team. I know there's going to be people that go, are you kidding me? They don't have the talent of Clemson by a long shot. Are we sure? Are we sure? Syracuse plays as a team. Syracuse plays as a team. It really feels like it's the team versus an all-star team. When Syracuse played Clemson, what I saw was Syracuse plays together, and Clemson has certain pieces that seem to just play within themselves. I think Syracuse is a football team that nobody wants to play, especially in Syracuse. So Syracuse are going to win, but look for the first half to be pretty dang close. Arkansas and Auburn, who knows? I'm going to go probably go Arkansas on that one. All right, the 3:30 games. We got Florida at Georgia. Here's the reality. It is a rivalry game that if Florida plays well, and Stetson Bennett does not, because he has not looked good this year, Florida could upset Georgia. Is that my prediction? Oh, heck no. Heck no. I got Georgia winning, but I do think it's going to be by 10 points or less. I'm probably thinking 34-24, 30-20. I think it's going to be by 10 points or less. Florida's going to keep pressure on them, going to expose some more of Georgia's flaws. I do not think they're the number one team in the country by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. I just don't. They don't look like it. They don't look as big and as fast as last year. And really, I think you have to throw out the opening week against Oregon at this point because Oregon looks pretty dang good. And they've gotten better, and Georgia hasn't really improved in any facet of the game at this point. But the other game, speaking of Oregon, Oregon is on the road at Cal. Cal has been a thorn in their side. This is one of those games, when you break it down, this is one of those games. Oregon at home last week, huge high, beating UCLA. Now you go to lowly Cal. Cal's been pretty. I mean, I remember the years. I remember them very well. With Aaron Rodgers, John Tedford as the head coach. Lots of 9-3 and 8-4 seasons. Cal was very respectable. Late 90s, early 2000s, you did not want to play them. Game day was there. UCLA, Cal, and USC were a force to be reckoned with in the Pac-10 at the time before it went into 12. So Cal just hasn't had that level. The Golden Bears have not had that level. Marshawn Lynch came from there. They have really good players that came from Cal. Look out for Cal to play this game really close and possibly upset Oregon. I think they will. And here's why. Oregon gets blown out against Georgia. They start improving. They have a perfect week last week. They're aggressive. They play hard. They played last week like it was a national championship game. Like everything they had to do was perfect. And they played that way. They were aggressive. And they beat UCLA at home in an environment that was absolutely buzzing. Now you go to Cal, where the last 3 years you've struggled. You've lost, won the last 3 matches, and not by a lot of points. You won by 10 in the slugfest, you won by 3, and you lost. You don't want to play Cal right now. They struggle in Berkeley. I think Cal gets the upset. What a day this would be if both Georgia and Oregon lose today. What a shakeup we'd have. I think Cal gets the upset over Oregon 41-38. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. I got to go with the home team, which means number 9 is going to lose as well. Kansas State is ready to play Oklahoma State. Another road match, and I don't think it's going to be easy for them to recover because, okay, so let me rephrase this. If Martinez starts, a quarterback for Kansas State, he is a game time decision. If he starts, I got K-State winning because they're going to come out hot. If he is not starting, I got Oklahoma State winning because they're without their quarterback. Fair enough? All right. All right, let's move down a little bit. The big game of the week, Temple at Navy. I got Navy. Biggest game of the week. There we go. All right, Kentucky at Tennessee. So this is a big game for Kentucky. If they lose to Tennessee, they're probably still ranked. They got a big win last week over Mississippi State. But the reality is, it's a rivalry game, but it's in Tennessee. Could Tennessee be looking ahead? It's possible. But I got Tennessee. I think they're a complete team. I think Hendon Hooker is the real deal. I think for everybody that says he's only going to be able to probably put in 10 years in the NFL, you're right. But you know what? I'll take the 10 years with him. Beautiful throwing ball. He's older, so he's got a lot of maturity. You want Hendon Hooker as your quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely want Hendon Hooker. So I got Hooker and the Vols beating the Cats, but I like the Cats. It's going to be a battle of 2 NFL quarterbacks, and I hope Levis plays to the level he can. The best thing for both quarterbacks is that this game is a big game. 38-35, 45-38. That's the type of game both these quarterbacks need to put on today. For the Scouts, I think it's a big game the Scouts are going to watch. It's on ESPN, nationally televised. Look out for this game to be sneaky good, but I got the Vols winning it. All right, couple games left, and we will call it a day. We got Michigan State at Michigan. Watch out. Sparty has not played well at all this year. Sparty has not played it well at all. Michigan's at home, at night. Can they handle what's happened this year? So let's not go back last year. Can they handle what's happened this year now? They've got tough wins, tough wins, tough wins. Now you're facing a team that you should beat. I'll be honest, you should beat. But Sparty's got a lot of pride. A lot of pride. And if you overlook Michigan State in a in-state rivalry game against Michigan, you're screwed. You don't want to do it. I got Michigan winning. But if they overlook them, that will be the number 4 team that falls tonight. At home in Ann Arbor, only because Michigan State's going in there, basically they're hearing, you suck, you're no good this year, we've got you, we've surpassed you again, we're the kings of Michigan, and Sparty's rolling in there completely free. They can cut loose, they can take risks, they can do what Oregon did to UCLA last week. If they are aggressive, if they just go for it, take the risks, they could beat Michigan because it's a rivalry. Rivalries matter in college football. So look out for it to be a lot closer than the experts think. All right, last game we're going to look at, Ole Miss and Texas A&M starting at the same time. Texas A&M, that program, let's just talk about that for a second. Let's not land there for too long, but dang it, let's talk about it for a second. The reality is that NIL has officially gotten Texas A&M in trouble. They've got a bunch of kids that are not mature enough, okay? That are not mature enough to be able to handle what's coming. And now they've had to suspend players. And everybody's taking notice because everybody sees it. And Texas A&M was really loud in the offseason of college football. Ole Miss rolled in there. Texas A&M is hurt emotionally more than physically. The team doesn't look together. And Ole Miss is going to win today on the road in College Station. And Texas A&M is in trouble. Texas A&M is in trouble. If you're Texas A&M administrators, if you're the board, you go to Jimbo Fisher this week and you ask him what his plan is to get you out of this tailspin. Because they've lost every game that matters. Every game that matters, they've lost. Texas A&M is a cautionary tale for NIL. And they have to get the brackets of what can happen around this, or it's going to continue to be a mess. It will continue to be a mess. That's simple. Next week, guys, I want to preview this a little bit. I know the rankings will change a little bit, but we're in week 9 of college football. Like, we are running down to the end now. So I want to get into next week, kind of preview some of this. Here's some of the matchups you got next week. Oklahoma State at Kansas. Kansas is not ranked. They lost 2 in a row. They're no longer ranked. The country bailed on them. Don't bail on Kansas at home. UCLA at Arizona State. Trap game. They lost. They got a relatively easy game this week, but then they go to Arizona State. Then you've got some of these. So this is going to be interesting. The big game next week, Tennessee at Georgia. That's the big game. And then the second big game is Alabama LSU. Clemson is at Notre Dame. Wake Forest plays NC State. Both of those teams will be ranked. Not sure what else is going to change today. We'll see what happens. But we got some big games coming up next week, and it's going to matter. The games matter. And you can't ask for anything better than that. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I will get my pick video out. I know I haven't been releasing as many videos. The last week and a half, guys, I've just been tired when I get home from work. I have just been tired throughout the day. Not going to lie, I got some other stuff going on, and I've just been tired. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Have a fantastic college football Saturday, and I will have my pick video out tomorrow for a beautiful week in the NFL with the updated standings from Penguin Dog and I, and our picks for the weekend. So guys, have a fantastic day. Enjoy the day. Hopefully it's sun shining where you're at. College football's on. Have some fun. And whichever team you're rooting for, hope they win. Because my team's not playing this week. All right, guys. Wings up. Hawk out. Football on.